Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 1, Husband from Heaven. Chapter 1, Husband from Heaven. You are already married, why are you still registering it? Don't you know the crime of bigamy? Su Nange walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau in shock, holding the marriage certificate that the staff had just printed out. The man who accompanied her to register looked at the dazzlingly beautiful girl in front of him and said regretfully, "Miss Su, you are already married, why did you pay me to have a fake marriage?" Then he left a message saying, "The deposit is non-refundable," and left in a hurry. Su Nange pursed his lips and had not yet recovered. She has never even been in love, how could she be married? He lowered his head and looked at the printout in his hand again. In the ID photo, the girl is a little reserved, her smile is forced, and there is a mole in the corner of her eye. It is indeed herself. As for the man, his facial features are thick, the bridge of his nose is high, and his thin lips hold a vague smile. His deep eyes stare at the camera, as sharp as if they want to penetrate the paper. Even a black and white print cannot hide his mysterious and powerful aura. Look at the name again, Hua Beiyan. She was sure she didn't know the other person at all. What exactly is going on? Su Nange took out his mobile phone to take a photo of the printout, opened WeChat, found a black profile picture and sent it, "Help me check who he is." The other party replied instantly, "Received." Su Nange then suppressed his confusion, rode a dilapidated electric car, drove slowly into a luxury villa area, and arrived at Su's house. Today is a good day for my sister Su Yin. Her fiancé will come to hire someone. The house was decorated with lights and colorful decorations, the servants were busy in an orderly manner, and several temporary workers were also hired. Su Nange parked the car in the corner, and behind him came the discussion of temporary workers and servants. Who is she? She is so beautiful. Hush, she is an illegitimate daughter who is not recognized by her husband. Her mother was a mistress. When my wife was about to give birth, she came to her home with a big belly and asked for an explanation. As a result, the two gave birth on the same day. That old woman is so shameless. She has been finding various reasons for staying at home for so many years. Miss Nan Gu knows what's appropriate. She has moved out since junior high school and hasn't been back for many years. I don't know what happened today. Su Nange narrowed his eyes, pretended not to hear the conversation between several people, and entered the living room. Mother Li Wanru was guarding the door. When the charming woman saw her coming in, she anxiously dragged her upstairs. "Follow me to find your sister first. By the way, have you got your marriage certificate?" Su Nange's voice was light and there was no hint of emotion or anger. "Take it. Even though the groom has changed, does it still count as the bridegroom?" "That's good, you have to remember your identity. Hua Zichen is your sister's fiancé. That kind of top wealthy family is not something you, an illegitimate daughter, can hope for. Only your sister is worthy of him." Hearing this, Su Nange's eyes flashed with sarcasm. Hua Zichen is the eldest grandson of the Hua family, the largest family in Haicheng. He pursued her for 4 years in college, but proposed to Su Yin on the day of graduation. After Li Wanru found out, she asked Su Nange to find someone to get married immediately, and completely ended the relationship with Hua Zichen. It has been like this since I was a child. As long as there is a slight conflict of interest between her and Su Yin, Li Wanru will ask her to give in unconditionally. Because she is an illegitimate daughter, her existence is original sin. I was brainwashed when I was a child, and I thought it was natural to endure these things. But now she has long since woken up. Su Nange looked solemn and said word by word, "We agreed that this is the last time." The mistake was made by Li Wanru. She was the one who stayed at Su's house to see her father every day. She was also the one who wanted to please Su Yin. Su Nange would not pay for her with his own life. This time I took the opportunity to repay her for giving birth and make a final settlement. Li Wanru was impatient, I know. While talking, the two came to Su Yin's room. The pretty girl is wearing a gorgeous dress like a princess, sitting on the sofa, choosing jewelry, and the room is full of jewels. Su Nange was shabby, but his back was straight. Su Yin saw her and said, "Hello, Nange, why are you here?" Before Su Nange could speak, Li Wanru said first, "Nan Gu is getting married today." Su Yin was surprised, so fast. "Who is this man? He is better than Brother Zichin." Li Wanru sarcastically said, "How is it possible? There is no one with more status than Master Hua in the whole Haicheng. She can find any good family, even a poor one, but she dare not bring her, for fear of looking poor. Dirty your eyes." Su Yin's voice was filled with jealousy. How could it be? Nan Gu is so beautiful, otherwise Brother Zichin wouldn't have chased her for 4 years. What's the use of being beautiful? With tattered shoes and socks, with her status, only a lowly Sanlin, who I don't know where, is willing to marry her. Master Hua just treats her as a toy and plays with her casually. Only your status, is worthy of her. I can get along with Master Hua. Su Nange frowned. The appearance and temperament of the man in the photo are incompatible with those of a poor and low-income person, right? But she didn't bother to refute these innocuous words. At this time, Su Yin had chosen her jewelry. She wanted to put on high heels, but found that the dress was too tight and made it difficult for her to bend down. Su Yin smiled slightly and looked at Su Nange. Li Wanru immediately pushed Su Nange. "It's useless, why are you still so indifferent? It's inconvenient for your sister, why don't you help her put on her shoes?" Su Nange. That's it again. Does Li Wanru really think that she is still the ignorant little girl who didn't know how to resist when she was bullied when she was a child? Her brows were cold, and her voice contained impatience. "You can help her put it on yourself." Su Nange, what's your attitude? Do you think your wings will become hard after you get married? Your husband is just a softy. You have to rely on the Su family in the future. Li Wanru raised her voice. If you don't build a good relationship with your sister now, one day you and your husband will beg her. Besides, the Su family raised you, so you should work as a slave for the Su family. At this time, a majestic figure appeared at the door. It was his father Su Wenzong. The man frowned. "A distinguished guest is coming soon, what are you arguing about here?" Su Yin said nothing and pretended to be innocent. Li Wanru cried and cried, "I am not this evil girl. After receiving the certificate today, I will not take me as a mother seriously." Su Wenzong's eyes fell on Su Nange and he frowned. "Married? Why don't you ask your family to introduce you to one? Where is the marriage certificate? Show me." Facing the concern of this strange father, Su Nange paused and took out the printout from his bag. The next second, she was snatched away by Li Wanru. "Let me see, what is the name of your good-for-nothing husband?" Su Yin asked curiously, "Dad, who is coming and makes you so nervous?" Su Wenzong suddenly felt radiant when he thought of that person, and he excitedly said a name. "Hua Bei Banquet." Su Nange was stunned for a moment. Who? End of this chapter. Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 2, Husband. Chapter 2 Husband. Su Yin was confused and puzzled. Who is Hua Beiyan? Is it very powerful? Su Nange was also curious to listen. She has some connections in Haicheng, but she has never heard of the name Hua Beiyan. Su Wenzong explained, "It is normal that you don't know him. This person is very mysterious and I have never seen him before. He is Hua Zichen's uncle, at the age of 28, and has become the real ruler of the Hua family." Li Wanru subconsciously exclaimed, "Then isn't he more suitable for Yin than Hua Zichen? The person in power is much better than the eldest grandson." Su Wenzong said angrily, "What nonsense. Mr. Hua is already married." Su Nange narrowed his eyes. Married? If the person with the marriage certificate is really him, it seems that Hua Beiyan should know what is going on. Li Wanru was a little disappointed. Who is his wife? She is more blessed than Yin. Su Nange's eyes immediately looked straight at Su Wenzong, but he heard him say, "I don't know, it is said that he and his wife don't like socializing." Su Wenzong frowned and thought deeply, "I don't know why I came here temporarily today. The Hua family is the most wealthy family in Haicheng, and the person in power is even more noble. The Su family's family background is just above average. Su Yin was the one who beat Hua Zichen in this marriage. It would be great if the person in charge could attend a wedding. How could he come to the door in person on the next day? Lee Wanru said decisively, it must be Yin is too outstanding, which has attracted the attention of the Hua family. Yin, this diamond necklace cannot hold on to the scene. Today, with such an important elder coming, it is better to find a noble person to wear it. She stuffed the printout she had not read in her hand back into the singer Su Nan, and anxiously pulled Su Yin to reselect jewelry. This look is more concerned than Mrs. Su's biological mother. Su Nange smiled mockingly. Sir, the Hua family is coming soon. The housekeeper's reminder asked Su Wenzong to turn around and go downstairs, and when he passed by Su Nange, he said casually, you haven't been home for a long time, so have a glass of wedding wine before leaving. Su Nange nodded with the trend. She wants to stay and see who Hua Beiyan is. In the room, Li Wanru helped Su Yin choose jewelry and personally helped her wear it. Looking at the bright girl in front of her, Li Wanru couldn't help but feel joy in her eyes. More than 20 years ago, if it weren't for the appearance of Mrs. Su's Nanjing Shu, he would be the one who married Su Wenzong. She hated Nanjing Shu, so she deliberately made trouble and gave birth on the same day as her, and she replaced 2 children in the hospital. Now that her daughter is finally going to get married in a grand manner, Nanjing Shu will also prepare a generous dowry for her. But Su Nange could only marry a gangster pennilessly as an illegitimate daughter. Feng Shui takes turns, and this is what Mrs. Su owes her. Downstairs. Su Nange lazily leaned in the darkness next to the stairs, staring at the direction of the door, waiting for the arrival of the Hua family. I don't know how long it took, but Mrs. Su walked downstairs with the help of her servant. She was wearing a purple cheongsam, with a slightly thin body, and her whole body was very bookish and had a cold atmosphere. The servant whispered, Madam, you are in poor health, so don't come down. Mrs. Su shook her head, no, cough cough. Yin is such an important day, cough cough. I can't miss it. The two of them didn't notice Su Nange and walked towards the door. Su Nange looked at Mrs. Su's back, his eyes full of admiration. It's ridiculous to say that Mrs. Su, the person who should have the most right to hate her, is her only warmth in the Su family. Li Wanru is not like a mother at all. When she was a child, she often forgot to feed her. She was young and was skinny and just learned to walk, she went to the trash can to flip through the food. Once, after being met by Mrs. Su, she would put some food in the garden regularly every day. This release lasted for 12 years. If it weren't for Mrs. Su's kindness, she would have starved to death long ago. Watching Mrs. Su get farther and farther away, listening to her coughing coming from time to time, Su Nange frowned worriedly. At this time, there was a sudden movement at the door, and it was the Hua family who came. Su Wenzong and Mrs. Su greeted him at the door. After a few greetings, they moved out of their bodies and a group of people walked in the door in a mighty manner. Su Nange saw Hua Beiyan at first sight. He was wearing a well-tailored black haute couture suit, walking in front like stars arching the moon. That face is more three-dimensional than in the photo, with a firm outline and a clear visible jawline. The man's deep eyes cannot see the bottom at first glance, his thin lips reveal a cool feeling, and his every move is full of noble spirit. Perhaps he noticed her gaze and the man suddenly looked over. For a moment, the eyes met. His sharp eyes made Su Nange's heart tremble. He wanted to peek into the emotions in his eyes, but the man withdrew his gaze and looked elsewhere. This made Su Nange a little confused. Does he know her or not in this way? Su Wenzong smiled and complimented, Mr. Hua, where is your wife? Haven't you come together? As soon as this was said, Su Nange felt that Hua Beiyan seemed to have glanced at her again, and then said lightly, she is inconvenient. Several people walked towards the living room while chatting. Hua Zichen, an old classmate who had been chasing her for 4 years, followed his elders. He was wearing a suit and was more mature and steady than when he was in college. He didn't see Su Nange and chatted with Su Yin absent-mindedly. Everyone surrounded Hua Beiyan and sat in the main seat and began to discuss the marriage between the two. Su Nange then walked out of the shadow. She stood there quietly, watching the excitement in the living room. Suddenly, someone grabbed his arm. Li Wanru lowered her voice and scolded, Su Nange, why are you still doing here? Didn't you give up on Huizichin? Tell you that he is your brother-in-law now. Su Nange broke free from her pole and sneered, don't worry, I'm not interested in being a mistress. It was Mr. Su who asked me to stay for a wedding wine. Since she became sensible, she called Su Wenzong Mr. Su. Li Wanru gritted her teeth angrily, that was his kind words. Do you take them seriously? I think you really don't know how much you have. In today's occasion, I can't even embarrass the Su family. Are you an illegitimate daughter? Get out of here now. It's really endless, it's so noisy. Su Nange frowned impatiently and was about to speak, but he saw Hua Beiyan standing up from the corner of his eyes. He pointed to his cell phone and then walked to the balcony, probably to answer the phone. Su Nange's eyes lit up, okay, I'll leave. She casually told Li Wanru, but she walked out of the living room door, but did not leave, and turned around and walked towards the balcony. The balcony on the first floor connects the small garden outside. As soon as Su Nange approached, the man who was making the phone hung up with a cold expression and looked at her with a sharp look. Su Nange paused under his feet. Facing his dangerous gaze, she suddenly curled her lips and shouted tentatively, husband. This chapter ends. Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 3, I'm married. Chapter 3, I am married. A glass door isolated the lively life in the living room. Su Nange stared at Hua Beiyan and observed his reaction. But after hearing this title, the man's coldness became even more intense. His dark eyes were chilling, without any emotional fluctuations, and he turned around to return to the living room. Su Nange quickly stepped forward and blocked his way. Hua Beiyan frowned slightly, get out of here. His voice was low and pleasant, and his words were filled with a noble charm, which made people want to hear him say a few more words. What did Su Nange notice? You don't know me. Hua Beiyan looked at her condescendingly, should I know you? From the time I entered the Su family, I felt a strange sight following me. The eyes were open and not as flattering as others, which made people disgusting. Hua Beiyan looked at her a few more times. The girl is very beautiful and has fair skin. Her peach blossom eyes and tears moles at the corners of her eyes are bright but not charming. Although she is standing well in the corner, her body is faintly unruly. After being discovered by herself, she did not dodge and looked at him openly. I thought she was different from those women who rushed up when they saw him, but I didn't expect that she was more bold than those women, so I called her husband when I came up. Hua Beiyan looked a little more impatient, and he said in a stressful tone, Miss, I am married, please respect yourself. Su Nange was a little confused. This person obviously doesn't know her, but he says he is married. Could it be that the Civil Affairs Bureau has registered the wrong information? She asked, who is your wife? It has nothing to do with you. There are 4 cold words again. Su Nange took out the copy of the marriage certificate and handed it to him, Mr. Hua, the man on this should be a gang. Hua Beiyan looked at the copy, her eyes fell on the woman's name, Su Nange. Looking up again, he sarcastically said, Miss Su, is it not expensive, right? You should be more professional when you fake it. After saying that, Hua Beiyan did not return to the living room and walked from the small garden to the parking lot. Su Nange chased after him and wanted to make things clear, but 2 bodyguards in black stopped her. Su Nange stood still and shouted to the man's back, Mr. Hua, this document is true. If you don't believe it, you can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check. Hua Beiyan kept walking and got in the car and left straight. His personal assistant stayed, returned to the living room, and met Su Yin head-on. Su Yin happened to see Su Nange pestering Hua Beiyan, but she didn't hear what they were saying. Seeing Hua Beiyan leave, Su Nange also rode an electric bike to chase him out. She immediately asked, why is Mr. Hua leaving? Did someone bump into him? The personal assistant smiled and said, Mr. Hua has something to deal with. Let's take a step first. Please tell me about it to the elders in the family. The boss didn't leave any messages to teach the girl a lesson, just to be unwilling to worry. Su Yin nodded immediately and sent the assistant away with politeness. The wedding date was agreed, and the rest of the Hua family said goodbye after lunch. After sending the person away, Su Wenzong was worried. Why did Mr. Hu leave? Is it because the family was not well received? Su Yin thought of Hua Zichen's absent-minded look and looking around today as if he was looking for someone, and then thought of Su Nang's face that harmed the country and the people, and clenched his fists. Her eyes flashed. Dad, I saw Nan go pestering Mr. Hua. Mr. Hua left angrily and left with a word. Mr. Hua said, let you discipline your daughter at home. Su Yin bit her lip. Will the Hua family think that our family is not good at tutoring and Nange do this? Su Wenzong's face turned pale in an instant. Su Nange was riding an electric bike and just left the villa area. He lost the person. Just as I was upset, my phone rang. Assessed, a male voice came from the opposite side, her subordinate Ji Ming. Boss, many people are checking who Dr. Nan is recently. Su Nange raised his eyebrows. Isn't it exposed? That's a must. After all, no one would have thought that Dr. Nan, who has overcome the problem of hydrogen energy oil and fuel, was just a little girl who had just graduated from college and looked harmless. Is there anything wrong? Su Nange interrupted his chatter. Oh yes, Hua Baiyan's information was found. Explain. Hua Baiyan is the second son of the Hua family. It is rumored that he is violent and cold-blooded and ruthless, so he was sent abroad since he was a child. Everyone thought that the Hua family would hand it over to the hands of the eldest son, Hua Zichen's father. No one expected that Hua Baiyan suddenly returned to China last week, and did not know what brutally used to force the old man to abdicate and control the Hua family group. Ji Ming asked curiously, didn't you find someone who is well controlled to get married today? Why did the groom suddenly become such a cold-faced king of hell? Boss, if your marital status is unstable, it will affect the company's listing. Su Nange frowned. Check his contact information and itinerary, and I'll go find him. The reason why I promised Li Wanru to get married immediately is that if the company's legal person is married, it is more friendly to applying for listing. But now I am being married for no reason, and I don't know what conspiracy is involved. Hua Baiyan's identity is not simple. The best way is to divorce as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary disputes. After hanging up the phone, Su Nange rubbed his eyebrows. Things are a bit troublesome. With Hua Baiyan's identity, it is not easy to see when traveling with bodyguards. Today, I shouldn't have called me husband for a moment, and I got rid of the person. She sighed, started the broken car and walked home slowly. Leaving the bustling and noisy city center, we come to the suburbs of urban villages. When I moved out of the Su family in junior high school, I didn't have much money, so I could only rent the old house here. Later, I got used to it, so I never moved. When I could get home by turning a corner, an old lady in her 80s and 90s suddenly popped up on the side of the road. Su Nange hurriedly braked and almost hit him. She looked at the old man and thought he was a mess, but soon found something was wrong. Although the old man is thin and short, he is dressed decently and looks like he is not an ordinary family. There was a sign hanging around her neck with the contact number written on it, and the last note was, if the elderly are lost, please call the contact number, and there will be a thank you very much. It's indeed Alzheimer's disease. I don't know whose old man was lost. Su Nange immediately took out his cell phone and entered the number on the sign. The dazed old man in front of him suddenly reacted. She grabbed Su Nange's wrist and showed a sense of twisting eyes, son-daughter-in-law. You are the granddaughter-in-law. Su Nange twitched the corner of his mouth. Being single for 22 years, why did she have another husband? Today is the Civil Affairs Bureau doing wholesale? She found it funny and asked casually, Grandma, who is your grandson? The old lady frowned and thought. What's the name of grandson? Oh, yes, Hua Baiyan. This chapter ends. Kong Tim Thay Tu De Chuang. Loi, Kong Tim Thay Noi Dung. Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 5, checked it out. Chapter 5, I found out. Dr. Nan. Why didn't she know that she wanted to recruit Su Yin? Professor Liang also exclaimed, do you actually know Dr. Nan? Su Yin smiled slightly, it's also fate. My mother sponsored Dr. Nan to go to school, so after she achieved success in Dr. Nan, she found my family and said that my mother was his savior. Over the years, he has been providing technical support to our company and should not refuse any requests from me. Su Nange raised his eyebrows. When I was a child, I was at the Su family and I was only able to grow up with Mrs. Su's care. After she gained the ability, she contacted Mrs. Su in the name of Dr. Nan. In order to have a reason to repay Mrs. Su's raising grace, she fabricated an identity of sponsored. Over the years, she has helped any technical problems in the company under Mrs. Su. But when did you agree with Su Yin? It's really an exaggeration. Professor Liang believed it. Which school does Dr. Nan work in now? Su Yin replied, I promised the dean that I would invite Dr. Nan to teach in our school. That's great. Professor Liang was overjoyed and looked at Su Nange and said, Nange, your research direction is the same as Dr. Nan. I will recommend you to him at that time. If Dr. Nan is willing to plead for you, there may be hope for the graduate school. Su Yin looked worried. Professor Liang, is this okay? The Hua family is the richest man in Haicheng and will allocate a lot of R&D funds to our school every year. Professor Liang doesn't care. Dr. Nan is very popular now. I heard that foreign Horton University and Oxford University have sent him invitations, and many companies want to invest in him. If Dr. Nan is willing to come forward, the school will definitely choose Dr. Nan. Su Yin sighed pretendingly. Dr. Nan is looking at my mother's face. If it were me, he would definitely spare no effort to help, but Nan Gu is my father's illegitimate daughter, and her position is against my mother. Nan Gu, or should I go and ask Dr. Nan for you? Su Nange, no need. At this moment, Su Yin is like a jumping clown. She curled her lips and said directly to Professor Liang, Professor Liang, don't have to worry. You know, I don't want to study for graduate school at all. Professor Liang looked blank and his face was full of regret. He discovered Su Nange's professional talent. When he saw that his heart was aroused, he strongly asked her to take up the postgraduate degree. Unexpectedly, things would come to this point. His eyes were slightly red. Then I'll write you a job recommendation letter. Li Wanru curled her lips. Don't waste your time. I offended Mr. Hua and still want to find a job in Haicheng. Are you dreaming? Professor Liang was angry. I don't believe that someone can cover the sky with one hand in Haicheng. If you really can't find a job, come and be a teaching assistant for me. I want you. A warm current surged into Su Nange's heart, and she explained, Professor, there is only a misunderstanding between Mr. Hua and I. Just clarify it, you don't have to worry. Professor Liang sighed, if you can clarify, come back and be my student. Su Nange looked at the eager expectations on the teacher's face and his voice was soft, okay, come back. It's also good to be a tutor at Haicheng University. Su Yin clenched his fingers. She didn't understand why Professor Liang only valued Su Nange, who had mediocre grades. Is this old man confused by her face? Su Yin was so angry that she glanced at Li Wanru and suddenly said, Nan Gu, do you want to bother Mr. Hua again? He is already married, it's really bad for you. Li Wanru was indeed furious. Pan. Su Nange's cheeks were burning, and he looked at Li Wanru incredibly. He didn't expect that she would suddenly attack in front of Professor Liang. Li Wanru was not disgusted with guilt, and pointed at her nose and scolded, Bitch, I haven't seen you for a few years. I think you have forgotten the rules at home. I apologize to your sister immediately. I promise you will never see the Hua family again. The temperature in Su Nange's eyes slowly faded away, leaving only coldness. It seems that she didn't care about the last time she said that day. She still regarded herself as the ignorant girl who obeyed Su Yin. Since the reason doesn't make sense, don't blame her for being merciless. Su Yin watched from the side, and a sense of pride rose in her heart. When he was a child, Su Nange bowed in front of her, and did not fight back if he scolded him or fight him. Later she moved out and the two met again in college. Su Nange was still in poverty, but he straightened his back in front of him. This is the case that I haven't fought for a few years, and I have forgotten my superiority and inferiority. Today, let Li Wanru give her a long memory. Su Yin just thought of this when she saw Su Nange slowly coming to her, probably preparing to apologize. Su Yin's lips curled up, but the next moment, Su Nange suddenly looked up and his hands fell on Su Yin's face in turn. Bah! Bah! Su Yin felt dizzy and was stunned for a moment. Li Wanru rushed over with a roar, "Su Nange, how dare you!" Su Nange suddenly turned his head. Her eyes were fierce, and she looked like Shura climbing up from hell, and her body exuded a bloodthirsty murderous aura. Li Wanru was frightened by her appearance and was stunned. "You, what are you going to do?" "Eyed wolf, I am your mother, are you going to attack me? You unfilial beast. If you are not kind to your mother, don't blame me for being unfilial to your son." Su Nange's voice was very cold, and he paused word by word. "Don't point fingers at my life anymore, otherwise I will double down on Su Yin if you do anything to me." She withdrew her gaze and bowed deeply to Professor Liang. "Thank you for your care over the past 4 years, I will come back." Leaving this, she turned around and left without hesitation. Until her figure disappeared into the room, Li Wanru came to her senses. She rushed to Su Yin. "Yin, are you okay? That dared to attack you, it was simply the opposite of her." Su Yin touched her swollen cheeks and shivered all over her body, but she calmly asked, "Where did she get the confidence?" Li Wanru was stunned. Did Mr. Huo really fall in love with her? It's impossible. She is married. How could Mr. Huo like the broken branches and willows? Su Yin also thinks so. But when I think of her face that is a disaster for the country and the people, I suddenly feel a little uncertain. Professor Liang was already shocked by this series of changes. He looked at Li Wanru in disbelief, listening to her dirty words, and couldn't help thinking. Is this really Su Nange's mother? Not Su Yin's mother? I don't know if it's a psychological effect, but Professor Liang suddenly felt that the two women in front of him looked a little similar, **. As soon as Su Nange walked out of the school gate, Ji Ming called. "Boss, I've found out. I understand why Hua Beiyan said he was married but didn't know you anymore. The new book and new atmosphere, I hope everyone will continue to support it. How many people are coming, please leave a message." This chapter ends. Kong Tim Thay Tu De Chuang. Loi, Kong Tim Thay Noi Dung. Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 7, Hua Beiyan gave too much. Chapter 7 Hua Beiyan gave too much. The house that Su Nange rented was neatly and warmly decorated by her. She looked at the old lady sitting at the dining table and drank 3 glasses of water in a row, and said seriously, "I am really not your granddaughter-in-law." "You are." The little old lady was very stubborn and held the water cup and drank it again. Su Nange knew that he couldn't tell her clearly, so he took out his cell phone and dialed the last number directly. He was answered immediately after a sound, "Hello." Su Nange vaguely felt that the man's voice was a little familiar. He was about to say something, but his phone was suddenly snatched away by the old lady. At this time, Hua Beiyan was looking for a group of people nearby. He was calm on his face, but he felt a little anxious in his heart. Grandma is not just Alzheimer's disease. She is 87 years old. All organs of her body have long begun to degenerate and are in danger of life at any time. The moment the phone rang, he answered it immediately, and then heard Grandma's breathless voice coming from inside. "Boy, don't pick me up, I'm with my granddaughter-in-law. Son's wife. The phone number belongs to the girl last time, so Grandma is with her now." Hua Beiyan had a dark face and asked, "Where are you?" "I won't tell you. Do you think I can't find it if I don't say it? You are not allowed to come to me, nor are you allowed to send someone to investigate me." Hua Beiyan rubbed his eyebrows, covered the microphone and whispered to the attending doctor, "Can you forcefully bring back the old lady's situation?" The doctor shook his head and replied in a low voice, "The old lady cannot be stimulated at this moment. It is best to follow her wishes. The girl didn't look like a bad person last time." Hua Beiyan tightened his chin and coaxed him to his phone, "Grandma, I always want to give you medicine." "No need to give me medicine. I'll take it with me. Don't worry, wait for me to kidnap my grandson's wife home." After saying this, the old lady hung up the phone directly. She returned the phone to Su Nange, Sunny's wife. it's done. Su Nange. What unreliable relatives are these? Just handing the old man to a stranger like this? She was about to call again, but the WeChat message sounded. Someone applied to add her friend through the phone number and left a message, old man's grandson. Su Nange applied through the other party's friend and entered the note, grandson. Grandson quickly sent a message, please take care of my grandma for a while. She has been in poor health recently and cannot be stimulated. Su Nange sneered and typing coldly with his mobile phone, it's not convenient, I'm not a charity here. Before I finished typing, I suddenly heard movements coming from the kitchen. She hurried over and saw the old lady boiling eggs. Su Nange asked casually, hungry? You can't just eat eggs. No. The old lady turned around and showed a kind smile on her wrinkled face, Sonny and daughter-in-law, you can apply an egg on your face to reduce swelling. Su Nange was stunned. Maybe she didn't notice that after being beaten by her biological mother today, although she seemed to have not taken it seriously, she was actually covered with a layer of indifference, which separated her from the world. At this moment, the old man's words faded away the coldness on her body, and there was a warmth in his eyes. She pursed her lips and looked at her phone again. But I saw an orange color suddenly appear on the chat interface. You received a transfer information and my grandson transferred 300,000 yuan to you. Sun Tzu, this is a week's living expenses, and I will tell me if it's not enough. Su Nange looked at his input interface, deleted the words he had just typed one by one, and edited the information again, okay. She didn't understand why she suddenly meddled with other people's business. It must be because the other party gave too much. Asterisk. Su family. Su Yin's cheeks were swollen high, and the slap marks were clearly visible. Her eyes were red and swollen, and she sat on the sofa in the living room and shed tears silently. Li Wanru lowered her head, Yin, that little must be jealous of you just getting married into the Hua family. Don't cry. Wait until your father comes back, let Wenzong teach her a lesson. Mrs. Su, Nan Jingshu, dragged her sick body down from the upstairs. Her voice was weak, but her tone was firm, cough, Nan Gu is not that kind of person. You must have done something first, angered her. Su Yin clenched her fingers and lowered her head and said aggrievedly, it's my fault. I shouldn't have agreed to Brother Zichen's proposal. She likes Brother Zichen so much. It must be because of this that she went to bother Mr. Hua. Mrs. Su's face was pale and ill, how could it be? Nan Gu knew very well the etiquette and integrity when he was a child. Otherwise, I wouldn't have moved out of my home stubbornly. Li Wanru said angrily, it must be that she has been taken away by someone in the past few years. Her heart is dark. Today, she not only attacked Yin, but also wanted to hit me, her biological mother. Mrs. Su still doesn't believe it. Su Yin's eyes flashed and she suddenly said, Mom, we care too little about her over the years. This reminded Li Wanru, it's because she doesn't go home. Madam, you were so nice to her before, but she didn't come back to see you. She's such an ungrateful wolf. She doesn't remember your kindness at all, she's just a cold-blooded person at heart. Mrs. Su was stunned. She has never had any prejudice against Su Nange, and she has feelings for her to grow up with her own hands. When the child left, she said that she would come back more often when she had time. But in so many years, Nan Gu has never returned home. Does that child really become cold when he grows up? Su Yin was satisfied when she saw her hesitating. She changed the topic and said coquettishly, Mom, can you invite Dr. Nan to Haicheng University as a tutor? Mrs. Su immediately refused sternly, Yin, you cannot repay your kindness in life. Besides, Dr. Nan has done enough for his family's company in so many years. Su Yin was not surprised at all about her words and said with a smile, Mom, I don't mean that. Haicheng University is the best university here. Maybe Dr. Nan wants to go there too. We can just help him match the school, which can be considered as a reward for Dr. Nan's help for so many years. Mrs. Su felt that this was reasonable, so she took out her cell phone and opened WeChat, then I'll ask him. Su Yin sat next to Mrs. Su and blinked, Dr. Nan has done so much for our family. I have already paid back any kindness. Shouldn't the family hold a banquet to entertain him? Wouldn't it be better if you ask him in person? Dr. Nan responded to Mrs. Su's request. As long as he comes, he will propose to be his graduate student. Dr. Nan will definitely not refuse. Mrs. Su was persuaded and she sent a message to Dr. Nan on WeChat. Xiao Nan, do you have time to come to your house to sit there? After Su Nange saw this news, his heart immediately raised. Why did Mrs. Su suddenly ask for a meeting? Could it be that she is in poor health? Thinking of Mrs. Su's cough, Su Nange stood up and walked out. When I have time, will I go there now? This chapter ends. Con Tim Thay Tu De Chuang. Loi, Con Tim Thay Noi Dung. Shock. My husband was born from the sky and turned out to be the richest man. Chapter 9, Meet. Chapter 9 Meeting. The front desk lady personally took Su Yin into the elevator. While waiting for the elevator, Su Yin saw that Su Nange did not leave, but sat on the sofa in the lobby of Hua Group, and obviously did not intend to leave. It's really a shameless person. Su Yin looked at the front desk. It's really not easy for you. I will tell Brother Zichen to give you some salary. The front desk showed a look of joy. Thank you, Miss Su. If you have any instructions, just speak. Su Yin sighed. My sister is the most stubborn, don't let her wait for Mr. Hua. Leave this and Su Yin enters the elevator. When the elevator door was closed, she saw the front desk walking towards Su Nange, and a successful smile appeared on the corner of her lips. Su Nange thought that with a face, he could get the attention of Mr. Hua. So stupid. In the world of wealthy families, talk less about feelings and more about interests. Hua Zichen pursued her for 4 years and liked her so much. In the end, he proposed to him. All this is because she has the bargaining chips to marry Hua Zichen. The elevator soon reached the 68th floor. When Su Yin entered the office, her face had returned to calmness and gentleness. Hua Zichen's suit and ties were wearing a lace, and his youthfulness when he was in school, his eyebrows and eyes became more sinister. His eyes fell on her face and he asked casually, what's wrong with her face? Su Yin lowered her eyes. I was beaten by Nange. Hua Zichen warned unhappily, I said not to provoke her. Su Yin paused, it's my fault. She walked to Hua Zichen and said, Brother Zichen, I heard that my new project is new energy. Hua Zichen looked at her seriously. Yes, if the Hua Group cannot develop the latest technology, it will be surpassed in the future. Su Yin smiled and said, my mother and I have an appointment with Dr. Nan to have a meal together. At that time, I will let Dr. Nan join your R&D team. Hua Zichen's expression calmed a lot. Okay. His attitude changed. He hugged Su Yin's waist and brushed his fingers gently on her cheek. Nan Gu is really too ignorant. Does it still hurt? I'll help you with the blow. Su Yin lowered her eyes and looked shy. But I was sneering in my heart. She has a connection like Dr. Nan, so how can Su Nange compete with her? As for who Hua Zichen loves, she didn't care at all. She just wants to marry into the Hua family and become Hua Zichen's wife. In this way, even if the problem of her life experience cannot be hidden in the future, her wealth and glory will be stable throughout her life. Downstairs lobby. Su Nange sent the address to Suanzi. The old man lives in her house now, so he really has to explain the responsibility clearly with the elderly family in advance so as not to cause any subsequent trouble. Just as I was about to make an appointment with the other party, I felt sad in front of me. The front desk stood in front of her with 2 security guards and ordered arrogantly, you can't sit here, as it will affect my work. Please leave immediately. Su Nange's face darkened. The sofa in the lobby is for people to sit at will, and she didn't say a word, so how did it affect the front desk work? Su Nange leaned back and leaned lazily there. Your work is so easily affected, should you find a single room to work? The front desk lady choked and said to the security guard in anger, you throw her out immediately. The security guard was about to step forward when the noisy lobby suddenly became quiet. The president's exclusive elevator slowly opened, and Hua Beiyan, with a steady aura, took Yi Yi out in a low-key manner. The man in a suit only glanced at this side, then withdrew his gaze and looked around, as if he was looking for someone. Yi Yi noticed the situation here and walked towards him strode. He frowned and looked at Su Nange. Why are you again? The villain at the front desk complained first. Assistant Yi, she said she wanted to go upstairs to deliver express to Mr. Hua. I didn't agree, so she just stayed here and refused to leave. Su Nange said lightly, I said it's not a express delivery. The front desk sneered. Assistant Yi, did you hear that? She stopped pretending and said she wanted to go upstairs to find someone. She didn't let her go when she saw me, so she was causing trouble here. I'll let the security guard drive her away. Su Nange looked lazy. What regulations does Hua Group have that say I can't sit on this sofa? The front desk was choked again. Yi Yi said to Su Nange impatiently, then you just sit here, the boss will not pay attention to you anyway. He looked at the front desk again and said unhappily, the important thing now is that the air conditioner on the top floor is broken. The repairman said he had arrived long ago, and the front desk stopped people from going upstairs. What's going on? The front desk lady was stunned. I didn't see a repairman coming. Yi Yi frowned. Is it really not? The front desk lady immediately nodded. I have always been here, not to mention how dare I take things on the top floor lightly, how could I stop it? Yi Yi took out his cell phone, then I will call the other party to see if he was wrong. Before I could dial the phone, I heard a lazy voice, it's right. Yi Yi was stunned. Su Nange smiled, it's true that the front desk doesn't let me go upstairs. Yi Yi. Front desk. Both of them were confused. After a while, Yi Yi finally understood, you are the repairman. How is that possible? A work permit was handed to him. The date above was actually 9 years ago. Yi Yi couldn't believe it. Is this the job you are looking for when you work part-time to study? Su Nange did not deny it, and looked at Hua Beiyan not far away. I don't want to say anything, I'll throw me out, and even slander me for causing trouble here. Mr. Hua, your front desk is really grand. The front desk looked at Hua Beiyan in a panic. Mr. Hua, Hua Beiyan had a blank expression on his face and said coldly, you have been fired. The front desk looked pale in an instant, but he did not dare to beg for mercy. Hua Beiyan then looked at Su Nange deeply. Yi Yi investigated the girl and moved out of the Su family in junior high school. Since then, he has been working to support himself. Yesterday I was a courier and today I was a repairman. How many jobs did I do? Life is so poor, but her back has been straight. Such a rebellious woman is willing to fall into depravity and comes to bother him again and again. Thinking of this, the hint of appreciation that had just risen by Hua Beiyan disappeared instantly, and his heart was full of impatientness. Miss Su, are you satisfied? Su Nange nodded and stood up. Mr. Hua, have you checked in the Civil Affairs Bureau? Hua Beiyan ignored her and said coldly to Yi Yi, take her upstairs to work, remember, don't let me see her again. Su Nange. Yi Yi grabbed her arm and said, Miss Su, let's go here. I advise you to give up. Even if you try your best to enter the top floor openly, our boss will not look at you more. Although the identities of couriers and repairmans are real, she is going to work specifically for the Hua Group. Everyone knows it well. Hua Beiyan no longer looked at her, took out her mobile phone and made a voice call to 5 Elements Deficient Iron on WeChat. At the same time, Su Nange's cell phone rang. This chapter ends. Kong Tim Thay Tu De Chuang. Loi, Kong Tim Thay Noi Dung.